Hey everyone, and welcome. If you're managing storage in AWS, you know exactly how S3 buckets can go from these nice, neat little gardens into, well, sprawling, untamed jungles of data. So today, we're going to grab our virtual machete and explore one of the absolute best tools for mapping that jungle, Amazon S3 Inventory.
Right? This is the kind of thing that probably keeps a lot of cloud admins up at night. I mean, when you're dealing with storage at that kind of scale, just trying to list your objects isn't just slow, it's pretty much impossible. You need a much better way to get a complete, audible record of every single thing you have. So, what's the answer?
And here it is. See, instead of you trying to ask for a massive list on demand, S3 Inventory just works for you, quietly in the background, generating a super comprehensive report on a daily or weekly schedule. It's the scalable, automated alternative to doing it yourself, and it delivers that report right to another S3 bucket for you.
Okay, so how do we actually set this thing up? We're going to walk through the entire process step by step, just like you would as an admin sitting in the AWS console. We'll break it down into three main parts.
First things first, we've got to tell S3 where it's even allowed to drop off our reports. That's step one. Then for step two, we'll configure exactly what goes into that report, the fun part. And finally, step three, we'll make sure all that information is properly locked down and secured. Let's start with authorizing the destination.
All right, first up, permissions. And trust me, this is the crucial foundation for everything else. Without the right policy in place, S3 just can't deliver the inventory files it generates for you. It's that simple.
You know, it helps to think of it this way. The S3 service itself is acting on your behalf, but it's still a separate thing. So you have to explicitly grant that service permission to place new objects, which are your inventory files, into the destination bucket you've picked out. And you do all of this with a destination bucket policy.
And at the very heart of that policy is this one line. This is the magic key. S3 put object is the specific permission that says, yep, the S3 service is allowed to write files right here. Now, if you're setting this up in the AWS console, it's pretty good at helping you with this. But if you're working with the command line or APIs, you've got to add this yourself. It is absolutely mandatory.
Okay, with our permissions all sorted out, we can move on to the really cool part, telling S3 exactly what kind of report we want. This is where you, as the admin, get to tailor the output for whatever you need it for, auditing, analytics, or just some simple record keeping. When you actually go to create an inventory configuration in the console, it really breaks down into these four logical chunks. You'll give your report a name and decide if it scans everything or maybe just a specific folder. Then you'll point it to that destination bucket we just authorized and set a daily or weekly schedule. And then you get to the really powerful choices, the file format, and the specific details you want to include.
Now, one of the first big choices you'll make is about object versions. If you just need a snapshot of what's live in your bucket right now, choosing current versions only is super efficient. But if you have versioning turned on and you need that complete audit trail for compliance or historical reasons, well, include all versions will give you a record of every single change.
Okay, so this choice is all about picking the right tool for the job. CSV is universal, right? It's perfect for a quick analysis in something like Excel or for feeding into other AWS services like S3 batch operations. But if you're planning to query this data at a massive scale with something like Amazon Athena, choosing a columnar format like ORC or Parquet is going to give you a huge performance boost. And this is where the real power is. You can go way beyond just the object name. For example, if you include encryption status, you can quickly generate a report of all your unencrypted objects and close any security gaps. Or you could pull the object lock settings to instantly verify your entire compliance posture. This is what turns a simple list into a serious, powerful governance tool.
So we've designed our perfect report, but now we got to make sure it's secure. And since these inventory files can contain some pretty sensitive metadata about your objects, S3 has powerful encryption options built right in.
You've basically got two main options for server-side encryption. The first, SSE-S3, is the simplest path. You just check a box, and AWS handles all the key management for you. Done. The other option, SSE-KMS, is for when you need more control. Like maybe your company policies require you to use a key that you created and you manage yourself.
Now this is really important. If you go for that extra control with KMS, you have one more permission step. It's just like before when you had to give S3 permission to write the report to the bucket. Well, now you have to give S3 permission to use your specific KMS key to encrypt that report.
And doing this is actually pretty straightforward. You'll just navigate over to the Key Management Service, find the key you told S3 Inventory to use, and go in to edit its key policy. You're not replacing the whole thing, you're just adding a new statement that lets the S3 service do its thing.
And this is the critical piece of that policy statement. You're identifying the principal, that's the entity getting the permission, as the S3 service, and the action you're allowing is KMS and generate data key. This basically lets S3 use your main key to create a unique data key just for encrypting your inventory report. Without this, the whole process will fail.
Okay, and one final super practical tip for all you admins out there. Once you click Create on your inventory configuration, don't panic if you don't see a report right away. That very first one can take up to 48 hours to be delivered. After that, all the next reports will arrive right on the daily or weekly schedule you picked.
So we did it. We've walked through the whole setup from permissions to configuration to encryption. You've successfully tamed that data jungle. But what does that really mean? What can you actually do with all this newfound visibility into your data?
So let's quickly recap the most crucial points here. S3 Inventory is your automated cataloger. You absolutely must have that S3 put object permission in your destination bucket policy. Remember to choose your output format based on your analysis needs. CSV for flexibility, ORC or Parquet for that big data performance. And finally, always encrypt your reports. And just remember that using your own KMS key requires that one little extra policy update.
And really, that's the real question, isn't it? Now that you can see everything, what are you going to build with that knowledge? Will you build a cost optimization dashboard by analyzing storage classes? Maybe create some automated compliance checks for encryption, or maybe feed all this data into a machine learning model. The inventory report is just the beginning. It's the map to your data jungle, and what you decide to build with it is entirely up to you. Thanks for watching.